Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumin and today we're having a look at Atlas Fallen. Rise from the dust and liberate mankind from the oppression of a corrupted god in this action RPG. Glide the sands of a timeless land filled with ancient dangers, mysteries and fragments of the past. Hunt legendary monsters using powerful shape-shifting weapons and devastating sand-powered abilities in spectacular, super-powered combat. Target and gather the essences of your enemies and shape your own custom playstyle, forging a new era for humanity in a fully cooperative or solo story campaign. Yeah, I mean, super-powered combat, sign me up. That sounds pretty fantastic. You can also create and customize a character, which was a welcome surprise. So here we are. We're checking it out. If you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about Atlas Fallen, if you'd like to do your homework, you can find some links below. They will help you out. You can also find the timestamps below. Yeah, those timestamps will tell you what the different parts of this video are, and you'll be able to click them to get to those parts. We're going to start by looking at the presets that they give us here. That'll be the first port of call. Then we're going to customize a female character. Then we're going to customize a male character. Then we will do a full randomize. That's male and female combined. Yeah, sounds fantastic. Let us jump in. I'm going to say the character creation system here is a little janky. Like sometimes you have to single click, sometimes you double click, sometimes things just don't work. I don't know. It feels a little... yeah. It's a little difficult, okay? It's a little temperamental. The characters, first glance, they look pretty cool. They look alright. There is a certain look to their faces and to the body frame that seems to carry across the characters and the styles that they have. I'll go through these presets a couple of times, and when you zoom in, the quality doesn't hold up all that well. Not for what I feel I have been told is a sort of AAA level game. I don't know, maybe it's a AA game, I'm not sure, but the characters and the models and the textures and all that stuff, they're not perfect. Let's just say that. But, hey, let's jump in, and I'll let you guys be the judge. And at the end, well, at the end we can get critical. Alright? So those are the visual types, as they call them. I did forget the voices, so I'm going to shove that in right here. And I'm just going to say, yeah, we've only got two choices. We got the male voice, the female voice. Let's give them a listen.
The Queen? Why should she care for one caravan? Knowledge for knowledge. Sounds like a fair deal. The world will change, one way or another.
We always had each other's back. I knew I could trust you. Let us end this. The Queen? Why should she care for one caravan? Knowledge for knowledge? Sounds like a fair deal.
Yeah, I mean, the voices are fine. I get the feeling, and I did actually mention this at the end of the video. Yeah, this is me from the future talking. Some people might be unimpressed by the female voice. I think she sounds fantastic. I think she sounds cool. Male voice sounds okay as well. Yeah, they're alright. Voices are cool. Let's carry on. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump in and just customize one of them. You will see I just clicked there and then nothing happened, and I had to click again. I don't know why. I don't know why. First up, we have the hair. I actually appreciate the fact that they put the hair first, even though I feel skin should be before hair, but it's like, it's whatever. The hair should be close to the start, because the hair, it's impactful. So you'll see when I zoom in here what I mean about the model. It's a little dated. It looks a little dated. And I feel like it's a weird situation, because I have watched the trailers, I've watched some of the action gameplay and stuff like that, and I honestly believe that the game looks pretty good. It's just that the characters don't really look all that fantastic when you zoom in all the way. And it's, again, just when you zoom in all the way, it's like, if you're not going to see your character from this up close and personal, then I guess it doesn't matter, really. But, yeah. I mean, the hairstyles, they're okay. I mean, the styles themselves are actually pretty fantastic. I think that they did reasonably well with the styles. I don't see why they actually have male and female styles separately, which they do, by the way. Not a big difference between them, but this is the kind of game and these are the kind of styles where you could easily have just thrown them together. More styles equals better, is what I'll say. Doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a male hairstyle or a female hairstyle. They're just hairstyles. But yeah, again, like the texture work on the hair and stuff like that, not amazing, not great. There is some physics, which is nice. And they do cover a decent number of styles with it. They got the shorter ones, the longer ones. They got some braids, they got some dreads, they got, you know, interesting styles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a style that doesn't cover the face too much. Let's just take something like this. Then we're going to look at the colors. You will notice that there is a certain hue to most of what's going on here. It's not a brown, but it's sort of like a dusty color to everything. So no matter what you do, it's going to look a certain way here. And I'm going to wager a guess that once you jump out of character creation and you're not in the actual sandstorm, the character might look a little different and the colors might be a little more vibrant, a little more visible. I'm just going to warn you guys about that up front, because that's the impression I'm getting here, is that you are maybe not seeing these colors for what they truly are. Now, in terms of what we have available here, I'm going to say this is basically grounded in reality. You know, they don't really have a fantastic red. It's sort of half red. They got some decent blondes. The black is not really black. It's more of a blue black. I mean, which is normal. I mean, this could be considered black enough, I suppose. And then they got the grays. It's like sort of, it's realistic colors. You know, they're not giving you the pinks, the purples, the greens, stuff like that, which is sometimes fun, but it's not always necessary. Let's just say that. However, most of what they have here, and if you look at the sort of swath of colors, it does look a little sort of washed out and muddy, but it's alright. I'm going to take the white one for now, just because it stands out a little bit. Then we're going to have a look at the skin tone. Now, the skin tone comes with a facial structure slider, which I thought was kind of cool, at least. And the skin tone actually gives you, it's more than just the skin tone. It gives you blemishes, it gives you beauty spots, it gives you freckles, it gives you basically everything. It's actually your face, it's your skin, not just the tone, it's everything. You will notice that things move around, things look different. There's a freckly face, I think it's this one. Nope, wait, was it this one? Yeah, there's the freckly one. You got darker skin tones, and I mean the pale, yeah, it's alright. The lighter ones, I think you're looking at like these for the light ones, and they're fine. There's even a pretty pure skin here without too many blemishes and stuff. You can sort of go any which way you want, and I like that. I appreciate that. You will also notice that the eyebrows are changing quite significantly. I realized that there seems to be a sort of difference in quality in them. Like some of the faces might have been made later than others, where they have far more detail on things like the eyebrows. Whereas these earlier ones here, they sort of just smushed on. I don't know. But this is quite an important choice because, as you can tell, it's the look and feel of your character. Now, if you combine that with the facial structure and then the stuff we're going to get in the face shape, and obviously the facial features, it's a little weird. Like the options are all over the place. But if you combine it all, then you can sort of make up what you want to sort of equal what's in the presets. I'll show you what I mean right now. So for the purposes of this video, we'll just go with the freckly faced one here, and then I'll show you what the facial structure slider does. So basically you get to sort of puff things up. Is that the right way of saying it? If you pull it on this side, the lips get bigger, you'll notice the brows lift a little bit, the nose gets a little bigger, everything sort of just puffs up a little. If you go to this side, it pulls in a little, you sort of you know, biting on a lemon or something like that. And if you go down to the bottom here, then it squares out. And then you can sort of go in the middle if you want a mix of all of them. It's decent. It's actually pretty decent. Like the idea of that, it's funny because it's a smart way of doing it. You can sort of go somewhere in the middle here. It's a smart way of having the angular one, the sort of more, I want to say the rounded one, and then the sort of the more curvy face. It's like you can combine them, you can sort of mix and match, or you can just go in the middle if you want that safe space. It's alright. It's a decent idea, and the implementation is pretty alright. Some funny stuff happens with the lips, you'll notice, and that can be sort of rectified when you fiddle with the other options, which we're going to jump into right now. Here we go. This is the cheeks. You can see them moving a little bit. Then the chin. Pretty decent choices. And then the forehead. And like, yeah, I might have complained a little bit about the textures and stuff like that, but this is actually genuinely impressive. Like, this is quite nice. The way that this works combined with the facial slider, it's pretty okay. The options, obviously, not all that impactful all by themselves, but if you combine them, if you mix and match them, you can sort of do something pretty decent. Let's give a stronger chin to this poor girl. Here we go. All right, eye shape. Did we get them all? Yeah, eye shape. We've got quite a few choices here. This is sort of how you're going to pick your ethnicity. I kind of like it that they give you some options with slightly less protruding, like eyelids and lashes and stuff like that, then ones with slightly more. It's sort of like you pick in the eye and then the look and feel of the makeup that you could potentially have on as well at the same time. You can have some more tired eyes as well. I respect that too. Anyway, let's take these for the time being. Eye colors. Pretty eye-catching, I would say, for the most part. If we weren't in a damn sandstorm, it might be a little easier to see. But they are definitely all right. I mean, if I look at these here, I always say that if you zoom out a little bit, you should still be able to see the color. Depending on the game, obviously, you know, it's sort of, it depends very much on the game that you're playing. But it's nice if the eye color is actually impactful, if it matters what you choose. And I mean, these blues are pretty vibrant. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful splash of color on an otherwise murky canvas, if you know what I'm saying. Eyebrow shape. This is just setting the tone, the mood, actually, I would say. You can sort of see it protrudes a little bit more or less, but it's setting the mood of your character. You can sort of be a little more harsh. You can be a little more carefree. Eyebrows are important, guys. Eyebrows are important. Next up, facial features. We've got the nose. I was kind of impressed by these two. I had a quick peek at them. I think that these are decent enough in terms of how much they actually changed the character. Like, they didn't hold back. It often happens that people make, you know, a full nose slider or a bunch of nose options or presets you can pick, and then they're all basically the same. You know, you can't go massive here, but it's actually changing reasonably well. Like this, I mean, as an example, this one, there's some pretty dynamic changes happening there. When you switch these and you change the shape and stuff like that. The mouth, here we go. Pretty big changes once again. All of them look sort of a little, except this one's a little skew. That's actually very interesting. I was going to say all these first ones look a little smug, which is fine. That's okay. It's so good to look smug if you fight in a literal god. I'm going to go with the skew one. Yeah, who the hell needs symmetry? Okay, and then ears. Big changes here. Like, what the hell? You can have, like, freakishly small ears set way too far back. Wow. Like, look at that. This is what happens if you run too fast when you're a child. Spend your childhood running around too fast, your ears, they get set back because of all that speed. Yeah? This is probably what your mother warned you about, right? Oh, God. I sure as hell hope she didn't warn you about this. I'm sorry, okay. The final option is the outfit color. There you go. You get to choose basically one of four. It's this beautiful blue color, which you should pick. The green, which is alright. This is the orange, which is supposed to be orange, but it's actually more like, I don't know what I'd even call that. It's brown. Let's be real for a second here, it's brown. The red is, well, that's alright, I guess. The red is alright. What is that color? Tan? Yeah, maybe. Alright, that's it for the female customization. We're going to jump back. We're going to pick this handsome gentleman right here. And let's take this one, actually, and then we're going to customize. Oh, we're jumping straight into hair, so it doesn't really matter. I wanted to not have the beard cover the face. But, here we are. Male customization. Right. You will notice that males have a few different hairstyles, but there's not a whole lot different. I think it's about 3 different styles, perhaps. Maybe 4. But I once again don't see a reason to have them split. I mentioned before the hair textures are not great. They're okay. These are nice. Like this, I'm impressed by. This is good hair. This, however, not so much. And as an example, these ones, they're okay. They're okay. These ones are also sort of just an afterthought, it seems. This is nicer, though. When they have these individual strands, it basically ends up using the engine much better. This is kind of cool. I like how they actually connected to the beard here. Oftentimes, games make beards that just look completely out of place on a face. Not so much here. It looks good. Yeah. It's the Black Panther one that we just saw. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. You notice in this movement here, I suppose, that is the heat, I suppose, from the sandstorm. I don't know. It's part of the environmental stuff that's going on here. Not sure why they'd put that there. And this one is completely out of place. I do not know why this is here, because this actually looks really good. This one was made with meticulous love and care. There's physics on it. There's a huge amount of texture work that they did here. Individual strands. Really, really, really nicely put together. That's a good style. Wow. Listen, let me be real here. I'm not like shitting on the others or anything like that, but for real, that one style is really nice. There you go. Okay, I'm going to leave it on the bald head for now, and then we'll look at the beards. You can go clean shaven. I recommend you do not. This is short beard. This is just sort of a texture pasted on there. Then you can get some actual hair, which in my opinion looks quite good. A bigger beard looks slightly less good because it looks like they took the individual strands and sort of stretched them. This one looks kind of nice. Yeah. Nice thick strands here. It looks good. And then we have this one, which actually, to be fair, also looks kind of okay. Not bad. We will just take the big one though. Let's say... Actually, let's take this one. I really like this one. The hair color. Let's take that pretty hairstyle that I was talking about. Where is it? This one. And then let's look at the style with different colors. That looks nice. Yeah. My God. I don't want to be the one to say it, but I think this looks better than the female ones. There's something that happened here. but it's just for the one. I mean, yeah, maybe it's just specifically because I chose a really nice hairstyle and the beard looks quite nice. But it's not often that I think to myself, wow, you know, I kind of prefer the male customization. Yeah. This is black, right? I don't know. I felt like when I came in here, I needed to get my eyes checked because the colors were playing tricks on me. I don't know, man. I'm already colorblind as it is, but like, this is definitely a bluer color, and that's definitely sort of more... I think that this would be called a raven black or something like that. Either way, I don't know. Sorry, like, I'm really bad at colors, and I'm colorblind on top of it. I shouldn't be in this line of work, but here I am. I really like the grays, and I think that the deeper browns, the darker browns are actually kind of nice too. So I'm going to switch this out again, just because I'd like to see the guy's face for the customization. And I'm going to put the fluff on, the chin fluff, right? Because that'll give us at least a little more space to see. So, skin tones. Pretty important. Again, you will notice that the sort of, I want to say the soul of the character remains intact as I switch through here. And that's because your eyes, you'll see they aren't really moving. Your lips are sort of staying the same. The nose shape staying the same. A lot of the stuff, it's like the gaze remains the same. But you're changing the skin that's on top. It's sort of a face-off situation, you know? But it's cool, but it still makes a big difference, obviously. And because of what we have picked down here, I do feel like a lot of this is sort of looking the same. So try and ignore the stern gaze that you get in here and just sort of pay attention once we get a little further in. Let's pick the first one for now. And then let's look at the facial structure. Now, on the females, we had up top here the more sort of drawn-in face. And you could call it the rounder one. You could also call it the more eastern face. Or you could go over this side, and you can get the lips swollen a little bit, bigger nose, rounder features. And then down here, you got the more straightforward, stern... yeah. We're sort of starting to look like Jason Statham now. No, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know if we could make him here. If we're going to make anyone here, it would be either him or Walter White, right? Let's put it back in the middle. And then let's keep going. But yeah, sorry. On this, like I showed off on the female side, you can sort of go for combinations. So you've got the rounder face on this side. Well, the bigger features on this side. You could go for like halfway. And between that and the sort of more drawn-in one. Or you could go down to the stern one, and then you could pull it up halfway over here and get a little bit more... get a little curvy, you know? But I do feel like oftentimes it might be best to go for the middle, then you customize this stuff, then you come back here afterwards. That might make sense, right? So you first do your face shape, pick what you like here, then you come back. I think that might make sense. So now we're doing the cheeks. You know, it's funny, I actually spoke about this very recently in Baldur's Gate, of all things. I was saying that Baldur's Gate really needed to give us an option for stubble. And I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's actually really nice. That you can pick a face here without stubble, and you can pick a different one that has stubble. Because it makes the beards look more natural if you do want the stubble on there. Now, they took it halfway here. They didn't take it all the way because there's no stubble on the darker skins. There's like stubble on, what is it, like 2 faces here at the start. There's a little bit here, a little bit more there, and a little bit there. And that's it. So like they had the idea, but they didn't really take it far enough. I just want to point that out. That it's good that they thought of it, but it's not good that they didn't actually implement it correctly with everything. But anyway, here we are on the cheeks. Chin. Pretty good. Like I like the sculpting in this, and I believe that it's enough, right? And if you customize this character, you use all these bits and pieces, you could probably come up with something reasonably nice. It might just be the other stuff, or the overall look and feel that sort of lets you down, instead of these individual options. It's not bad. Let's give him the more significant forehead. There we go. Eye shape. A pretty impactful choice, once again, because this, along with the brows, sort of... it dictates the feel you're going to get when you look at the character. It's like, what's the face saying? I kind of like it. I kind of like it. How much just changing the eyes and the eye shape affects the character. I feel like this one suits the skew mouth. This one. Okay, let's have a look at the eye colors quickly. Just keep in mind, if you take one of the others, you might see more of the eye. It's on you. I feel like the eye colors here, and I mentioned this on the female customization, they are decent. These colors are nice. They give you a very generous selection of colors compared to the hair colors, at least. Very bright, very vibrant. I mentioned specifically the blues here are beautiful, and they stand out beautifully as well. I think it's awesome. Eyebrow shape. This is not the eyebrow itself, it's just the shape of the brow, which, like, you know, if you want to change the eyebrow, that's back in your skin tone options. But pretty significant how much it moves once again. Kind of like it. There you go. And then, facial features. Nose. Let's see what we got for noses. Now keep in mind, you can pick a nose here, and then you can still modify it a little bit more by pulling the sliders around. I find it interesting that these two change the entire back of the head as well. That must be a bug, right? Yeah, decent nose shapes. I like it. Mouth. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's pretty cool. Okay. Okay. The skew face isn't quite as skew here on the male side. And then finally our ears. Yeah, I mean the ears... I feel like don't touch the ears. Just take the first one, leave it out. Our final option is the outfit color. You can have blue, you can have green, you can have this, and you can have somewhat red. It's okay. And now, we are going to jump back over here. I'm going to show you one more time what these presets look like, so you can see. And then, what we're going to do is we're going to randomize. But before I do that, however, I also think it might be worth just taking one of these and then zooming in on it. So you can just sort of see what the face looks like up close. Maybe take in this guy, zooming in on it. Kind of cool. Looks alright. But that's actually what we're going to be doing here. The last two things I'm going to look at will be the voice, and then I'll randomize. I sort of forgot about the voice most of the way through, but yeah, I mean, let's do that quickly. Let's have a quick peek at it.
We always had each other's back. I knew I could trust you. Let us end this. The Queen? Why should she care for one caravan?
Knowledge for knowledge? Sounds like a fair deal. The world will change. We always had each other's back. I knew I could trust you. Let us end this.
Yeah, so you only get one choice. It's a male voice or a female voice. The female voice is pretty deep. I think a lot of people might be a little unhappy with that. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great sounding voice. The voice acting in the game from the little bit that I played right at the start was not all that great. It might have just been that start bit that didn't have great voice acting, but yeah, it's whatever. Now we are going to jump in quickly and randomize. So this is, you will notice, using basically all the options. There's obviously, you may have realized that, nothing that you can change on the body itself, but this is using all the options. Let's jump in between male and female as well. I wonder, can I zoom in? It would have been cool if I could have zoomed in and then randomized while zoomed in. I think I can with this, right? Yeah, there we go. All right. But it zooms out again immediately. So yeah, randomize gives you a good enough look. And to be honest, there's a decent amount of variety here. It's not a huge amount. Like, there are some slightly more radical visual styles you can go for. There are some slightly cooler looking characters you can make. But it does seem like the game somewhat funnels you into certain looks and certain styles because certain looks and certain styles were better put together. And with that said, we're going to jump into the outro, and I'm just going to say that overall this is just, it's okay. It's alright. There's nothing to write home about here. There's nothing that I would go out of my way to praise in too great or magnificent a fashion, but it's alright. You know, it's all right. I guess it comes down to how much you get to see your character. I do feel like if you do see your character a bunch up close, then I would say that the model quality and stuff like that will definitely come into play, and it might be a little, you know. If you're not seeing your character up close, it's probably fine, you know. But I don't know if that's even a really good argument to be making. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. This is one of those where I'd definitely like to crowdsource an opinion from you guys. I'm not all that impressed by it. I feel like the options themselves, I get the feeling they tried quite hard to put a bunch of interesting stuff in there, but they didn't work enough on the individual options to make them actually look good. You know? It's kind of a weird situation where that's concerned. Where there are some that look really good and some that just don't. But anyway, there you go. Atlas Fallen, my dudes. You can, as always, check back here soon for more. Give this one a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. Let me know, please, with a comment, what you thought about the customization here. I'm always curious. It's something that I love to read. And, yeah, I love it when you're part of it. If you haven't already, subscribe. Do it. Do it. I release these videos all the time. And with that, I'm done. Happy creating those characters, my dudes. Happy that.